Koning van die Townships, deel 2. Toe die geskietery in die nag egter die afmetings van 'n volskaalse oorlog aangeneem het hy hom tot sy flatse leerders in die klas gewend om die ware toedrag van sake uit te vind. When the shooter erupted into a full-blown war, he asked his learners who lived on the flats what the real and true situation was. Hy het meegedeel dat 'n nuwe bende, die Young Ones, besig was om oorlog te voer teen al die ander bendes. He learned, or he was told, that a new gang, the Young Ones, was busy fighting with all the other gangs. En hulle leier, Seppi. Hy was toe tog nie so verkeerd met die leierskapsrol wat Seppi in die gemeenskap sou vervul nie. And their leader, Seppi. He was there, hier is ironie, he was not so wrong about his leadership role that he would play in the community. Verskeie gerugte die ronde gedoen aangaande Seppi se doen en late. Ontsag was duidelik te bespeur wanneer sy naam in gesprekke opgeduik uit, iets wat al hoe meer gebeur het. Various rumors did the rounds about Seppi's whereabouts and what he was doing. Respect was clearly visible when his name was mentioned in conversations, something that was happening more often. En hoe gereelder sy naam opgeduik het, hoe ontstelder het die stories geword, stories van roof, moord en verkrachting. And the more his name was mentioned, the more awful or disconcerting the stories became, stories of robbery, murder and rape. Nergens was daar egter iets substantiefs nie, nie in die dagblaaie of die gemeenskapskoerante nie. There was nothing substantiative in the community newspapers or in other newspapers. Nadat Elsie's rivier maande lank in 'n oorlogsone omskep was, het die skietery stelselmatig afgeneem, totdat dit uiteindelik doodstil was. After Elsie's rivier erupted for months at end into a war zone, the shootery or the shots started to reduce systematically until there was a silence. Hierdie ongemaklike stilte het hom genoop om hom weer eens tot sy informante in die klas te wend. This uncomfortable silence forced him to ask his informants in class again. Het die vredesforum weer daarin geslaag om vrede tussen die bendes te bewerkstellig? Did the peace forum manage to get peace again between the gangs? Van watter gangs praat meneer? Daar is net een gang in Elsie's en dis die Young Ones. Blykbaar het al die ander bendes of gevlug of by die Young Ones aangesluit. What other gangs are you talking about, sir? There is only one gang in Elsie's, and that's the Young Ones. Apparently or evidently, all the other gangs either left or joined the Young Ones. As dit waar was, wat die leerders hom vertel het, en hy glo hulle, want hulle was Seppi se klasmaats en het nog steeds kontak met hom, al was sommige nou vreesbevange vir hom, was Seppi die magtigste persoon in Elsie's rivier. If what the learners were telling him, and he believes them because they were Seppi's classmates and they've still got contact with him, although some of them are now fearful of him, Seppi was now the most powerful person in Elsie's rivier. Stadigan het meer as net gerugte oor Seppi begin versprei. Die radio, nuusblaaie, gemeenskapskoerante en selfs die televisie was vol berigte oor die berugte bendeleier Jacob September, alias Seppi. Slowly but surely, more rumors surfaced and continued to spread about Seppi. Radio, newspaper, community newspapers, and even television was full of articles and reports on this notorious gang leader, Jacob September, alias Seppi. Verskeie arrestasies het gevolg, maar Seppi is nooit gevonnis nie, want weinig getuies het die moed gehad om teen hom te getuig. En daar was ook gerugte van polisiebeskerming, want wanneer die staat wel 'n waterdigte saak teen hom gehad het, het leers op onverklaarbare wyse weggeraak. Several, they took him into custody, but Seppi was never convicted because very few witnesses ever had the courage to go up against him. And there were also rumors of police protection because even though the state would have a watertight case against him, the files would mysteriously disappear. In hierdie stadium het Seppi die polisie sowel as die gemeenskap van Elsie's rivier in die palm van sy hand gehad, want geld was geen probleem nie. Hy was die alleenheerser oor die dwelmhandel in Elsie's rivier. At this stage in Seppi had the police as well as the community in Elsie's rivier in the palm of his hand because money was not a problem. He was the overall ruler of the drug trade in Elsie's rivier. Dit het later gebleik dat die young ones hul onwettige bedrywighede nie net tot Elsie's rivier beperk het nie, want ander woonbuurte soos Ravensmead, Bishop Lavis en Belhar het ook onder hulle beheer gekom, nie oral sonder geweld nie. It also came forward that the young ones continued with their illegal transactions, not just in Elsie's rivier, but it spread to other neighborhoods like Ravensmead, Bishop Lavis and Belhar, which came under their control, and not without violence. 'n Skoolseun, want dis is nog steeds hoe hy Seppi beskou het dus nie net die woongebiede beheer nie, maar ook die polisie. Toch snaaks dat hy tydens hierdie tydperk van sy beheer oor die woonbuurte nie een keer vir Seppi raak geloop het nie. A schoolboy, because that is how he still saw Seppi. Not only had power over all these neighborhoods, but also the police. It was funny though that after all this time of Seppi being having power and control over the neighborhoods, that he didn't bump into Seppi even once. Slegs een keer het een van die leerlinge uit die bloute vir hom gesê, Seppi stuur groete. Only once out of the blue did one of his learners tell him that Seppi sends his regards. Vir 'n aantal maande was Seppi onaantastbaar en het hy gedoen wat hy wil. For a few months, Seppi was untouchable and did exactly what he wanted. Eintlik het hy nie meer sy hande bevuil nie. Daarom het hy te veel luitenante gehad, wat maar te gretig was om sy bevele uit te voer. He also didn't have to get his hands dirty anymore. Therefore, he had too many lieutenants that were eager to fulfill his commands. Eendag het hy egter weer sy guns afgehaal, soos hy dit gestel het, toe hy 'n jong dogter verkrag het. One day, he called in his debt, as he would put it, and he raped a young daughter. Seppi is in hegtenis geneem en die dogter onder polisie beskerming geplaas, aangesien dat sy die gemoed het om teen hom te getuig. Seppi was taken into custody and the daughter was placed under police protection because she had the courage to stand up in court against him. Dit het gelyk asof Seppi uiteindelik sy rieme styf geloop het. It looked as if Seppi eventually met his match. Geen borgtog is aan hom toegestaan nie en selfs nie eers sy goed betaalde prokureurs en advokate kon hom die keer red nie. He was not given any bail and not even his well-paid lawyers and advocates could save him this time. Miskien uit nuuskierigheid of miskien meer om sy gewete te salf, het hy besluit om Seppi in die tronk te besoek, nadat een van die leerling kom sê het dat Seppi vra hy moet hom besoek. Maybe out of curiosity or maybe it was just to soothe his conscience, he decided to visit Seppi in jail. After one of his learners told him that Seppi would like to see him. Van nie weet waaroor om met so 'n berugte bendeleier te gesels nie, het hy Seppi gevra waarom hy die meisie verkrag het, want hy het tog baie gewillige slagoffers gehad. He didn't know what to talk to this notorious gang leader about, and then he asked Seppi why he would rape this girl when he would have so many willing victims. Sy moes 'n les geleer word, want sy het haar hoog gehou en op my neergekyk. She had to be taught a lesson because she was high and mighty and she looked down on me. As hy verwag het om 'n berouvolle seun in die tronk aan te tref, het hy hom lelik misgis. If he expected to see a remorseful boy in jail, he was mistaken. Hy het 'n hardgebakte, straatwyse en doodsverachtende mens in die tronk agtergelaat. Seppi was now a stubborn, streetwise and death-defying person, and he left him in jail. 2 dae daarna het die nuus hom bereik dat Seppi dood is. Die nuusblaaie, radio en televisie het dit uitpasyn dat die berugte bendeleier Jacob September alias Seppi in die tronk deur 'n ander bendelid vermoor is. 2 days after he visited, the news reached him that Seppi was dead. The newspapers, radio and television broadcasted everywhere that the notorious gang leader Jacob September alias Seppi was killed by another gang member in jail. In Elsie's rivier en omgewing was daar verligting en blydskap, alhoewel niemand dit hardop durf sê het nie. In Elsie's rivier and the neighborhood, there was relief and people were glad, although no one would say it or dare to say it out loud. Mettertyd het die gruisame besonderhede aan die lig gekom, hoe bendelede die moord beplan het, hoe dat naakte bendelede laat een nag na Seppi se bed gesluip het, 'n kussing oor sy gesig gedruk het, hom vasgedruk het en sy keel met 'n vlamskerp lepel afgesny het. As time passed, the gruesome details came to light. How gang members planned the murder, how they were naked one night, crawled to Seppi's bed, pushed his pillow over his face, pushed him down, and cut his throat with a very sharp spoon. Toe hy daardie tatoeëmerke op die lijk se voorkop gesien het alle simpatie wat hy met Seppi gehad het, stadig maar seker uit hom verdwyn. Miskien het hy maar net gekry wat hy verdien het. When he saw the tattoo marks on the corpse's forehead, all sympathy that he had with Seppi slowly started to drain out of him. Maybe he did get what he deserved. Toch begin selfverwyd weer eens aan hom knaag, as hy probeer sin maak uit die dood van Seppi. Iewers moet daar vir hom 'n les vir hom in wees. Again, the remorse comes creeping and gnaws at him, and as he tries to understand the death of Seppi. Somewhere there must be a lesson for him. Miskien moet ek meer betrokke by my leerlinge se omstandighede wees, probeer hy homself wys maak. Maar dan klink Seppi se afskeidswoorde in die tronk helder en duidelik in sy ore. Maybe I should become more involved in my learners' environment and their circumstances. He tries to reason with himself, but the sound of Seppi's parting words in jail rings clearly in his ears. Meneer, ek kan maar môre wit biene wies. Ek worry nie, want vir 'n kort rukkie was ek koning van die township. Meneer, sir, it doesn't matter if I died tomorrow. I am not worried, but for a very short while, I was king of the townships.